Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, and today we're going to be talking about vampires.
Vampires? I thought it was clones.
Well, or clones, yeah. Attack of the Clones on OpenSea.
Yeah, that's going to be the name of the title of this video, I guess, because, I don't know, had a good ring to it.
Vampires didn't have all that great of a sound to it, I guess.
It would make a good thumbnail, though.
Yeah, it would.
Sorry. Well, the clones will, too. But, okay, what's happening? OpenSea. We've done videos in the past about OpenSea, right? You guys can go back into our historical archives.
We thought OpenSea was going to do an airdrop of a token.
Yeah, I think around those times, maybe more than a year ago, we were kind of like putting out a PSA, like a little bit like an urgency to everyone just to kind of be aware of like the potential for the NFT sector to tokenize.
Yeah.
Because it was like around the start of the NFT mania beginnings. It was like, okay, NFTs are finally picking up traction now that we got many different marketplaces that had their own niches and stuff. They're building communities. Naturally, I feel like the next stage was, give the community the tool to actually, participate, govern, benefit, profit, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So we urge people to become, a little more active on OpenSea in anticipation of that. So unfortunately, the token never came from OpenSea, but now we've had some, I don't know. So what do you want to call them? Contenders, some Robin Hoods.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. We got some good souls out there. We got, however you want to identify them, right? Everyone's got their own opinion about this.
Or vampires, depending on how you look at it, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess that's the topic of discussion, right? Is this good? Is this bad? So what's happening?
I think this is a battle of incentives. I think that's all this is that essentially if you provide a better incentive mechanism for the audience is going to tend to favor that incentive mechanism.
So what incentive are you talking about in particular? So
the fact that on LooksRare, that if you sell your NFTs on LooksRare over OpenSea, anytime you sell anything on LooksRare, you get awarded tokens.
Yeah.
Looks tokens.
Yep.
So OpenSea, you don't get awarded anything.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to sell your NFT, well, it benefits you more to sell it on LooksRare.
Yeah.
And so now LooksRare did like $1 billion in volume in the last couple of days.
Yeah. And then like, I think before all this happened too, there was already like negative sentiment in the air about OpenSea. I think like some rumor was leaking about OpenSea potential IPO. Mm-hmm. So, it categorizes OpenSea as like, not aligned with like the Web3 principles of like, decentralization, community owned, governed, all this stuff, right? So these new protocols or platforms, marketplaces, whatever, they're capitalizing on this sentiment. Mm-hmm. And then, we witnessed this sort of in the past with the DeFi space, right?
Yes.
Like whenever Uniswap came out, it was a landmark achievement, right?
Uniswap.
It actually kind of galvanized and kickstarted this whole bull cycle, in my opinion. Right, there was not much happening until Uniswap came to town.
The unicorn. Look at this. Look how simple UI this is.
Very simple, very clean.
And then what happened, man?
And then I guess the clones started emerging, dude. The vampires, whatever you want to call them, dude. It's like everyone was like, "Yo, Uniswap, where's your token?" And then or like
Yeah,
Uniswap eventually came out with a token of their own, obviously. But,
yeah, they did. But they didn't have incentive mechanisms like SushiSwap did.
That's right. There was no yield farming or anything caked into their protocols. So like it started the whole DeFi craze, I think. Mm-hmm. But the point is because, it's kind of the nature of the Web3 space, right? When somebody innovates, and if it's an open source, project, protocol, whatever, it kind of opens the doors for any other developer to kind of like pick up this torch and, put their own spin on it if they want. Mm-hmm. Which is, LooksRare. If you, and there's more platforms here too that are starting to emerge for NFTs, but for sure, like the whole tokenization of these marketplaces seems to be like the main fixture, right?
Yeah. So let's take a look at this tweet. LooksRare versus OpenSea. The buyer got $3.5K in trading rewards on OpenSea. They would have gotten none.
Yeah.
The seller saved $1,500 in fees and got $3.5K in trading rewards. So that's a $5K plus more than they would have gotten on OpenSea.
Yeah.
So, obviously, it makes sense. People are selling their NFTs on LooksRare.
Yeah, selling and buying, right? Because it's just It's like would you shop with, you know, those little freaking credit cards that give you 5% off on everything in store? Like, would you shop with or without that, right? I think everybody would opt to get the 5%
for sure
rebate on everything they buy, right? It's kind of like the same thing that happens here, but like in a token model, right? It's like, at least with the activity you do on these marketplaces, like you're accruing network value for yourself, right? Which you could either decide to stake it. Well, it depends, like what these platforms end up doing, like, as far as like delivering token use cases, you know?
Yeah, I mean, all right. So we got other stuff to look at here. So LooksRare NFT marketplace. It says LooksRare rewards for day 36, 790 WETH, which is roughly 2.4 million.
Yeah,
and then 1.3 million looks, which is about $2.8 million. The rewards calculation period for day 37 is live. Earn looks every time you buy or sell an NFT.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, we go back to what we saw in the DeFi space. Uniswap came, dominated the market, and then all of a sudden these, at the time they were called vampire liquidity, where they were stealing the liquidity from Uniswap by creating a clone and then having an incentive mechanism that was far superior than Uniswap.
Yeah, the reward potential was much greater. So you're gonna allocate your capital, your liquidity to, you know, something with more opportunity, right? That's just the nature of things. So that's how competitive the space becomes. You know?
Yeah, and look how similar these platforms are. Like LooksRare is competing now with XY.
Yeah, so this one
X2, Y2.
And the thing that these all have in common is that they airdrop their tokens to the user base of OpenSea. So that's like the real vampiric attack, I guess.
That's right.
'Cause, like,
that's right.
There's nothing more direct, like as far as like a statement, like, dude, we're here to disrupt you a little bit.
Yeah,
by
a little bit.
However much we can, pretty much all the way. Like they want to, you know, if you listen to like the rhetoric or the dogma, I guess, that some of these projects are putting out, like, you know, OpenSea is the big bad wolf in the town nowadays. You know, like they're not good for the space. And,
you know what? I mean, if they were OpenSea, they would be doing exactly what OpenSea is doing.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. They're not. So like they have to create a narrative, right?
It's true.
But it's an attractive narrative.
It is. It is.
In the Web3 space, we're always looking for like these
advantages,
or like these traditional entities that we can kind of like scorn and like scoff at, because, like, you know,
create a narrative. You mean like a story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's captivating, right?
Sure,
And it reinforces the idea of like a community, right? That unfortunately OpenSea seems to be dropping the ball with, you know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they consider that they're dropping the ball. I mean, they could have launched a token years ago, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And so they just raised like what, 350 million or what, something like that.
Something like that. Okay, they're not dropping the ball like in the sense of like a business, but I mean like I guess supporting a similar type narrative. But I guess OpenSea was a first mover, right? So they were the first of its kind. They might have had like a runaway success mode where like now there's like these external influences to where like they're pressuring them not to follow in line with these Web3 models of like, you know, tokenization, decentralization, all this stuff. Because who knows, probably a various, you know, array of reasons, right? Could be investors. They could be encouraging like an IPO versus an similar to Coinbase, right?
Yeah, similar to Coinbase, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, I think this model works because it's the same. I mean, you're going to be selling NFTs. Why not sell them with the added bonus of getting additional tokens, right? Yeah. So it's a pretty straightforward kind of like incentive mechanism. Mm-hmm. But there's two competitors against OpenSea. It's LooksRare and X2, Y2. So Coinbase, they're recognizing what's going on. Vampires on the OpenSea, right? In this week, ATB podcast and blog, we dig into LooksRare recent vampire attack on the competition and how there's more to the numbers than one might think. Yeah, so just a quick glance at this little chart they drew up. I mean, right away, I was kind of blown away by this because I think the platform's only been live for like a couple of weeks. But of course, they're running on like unprecedented, bromentum from the get-go because of the marketing like nuke that is like an airdrop. You know, a lot of projects have used it in the past, but like airdropping to an OpenSea user base, like that's definitely very alpha. Oh yeah, or meta. Like that's the meta these days. You know, just because there's so many people. Yeah. So of course you're gonna get the attention of like a mass audience. It's gonna spread all over Twitter. I mean, it's brilliant because the airdrop to OpenSea users is the audience that you want to get anyways.
Yeah.
And so you don't care about anything else besides those users because they're familiar with everything.
Yep. And then you get to use that narrative again of like it's like, hey, OpenSea didn't want to do this, so we're gonna do it because we are the community type thing, right? And
yeah, it's a narrative. I mean,
but it's attractive, but it is actually true in the sense that they're delivering similar quality of service. I'm sure it's not up to par to OpenSea because OpenSea's
yeah.
It's been around for a while now. They probably have hundreds of employees and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I doubt if anything goes wrong with your NFT listing, you're going to get much customer service.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you even get that much customer service with OpenSea anyway.
That's true. Okay, well then, shit.
Yeah, but so this is sort of predictable, right? This outcome that's occurred with these, I guess, vampires, whatever you want to call them.
For whatever reason, I just didn't see it coming. Like, we knew there was going to be tokenization in the NFT sector, but for some reason, I just never anticipated.
Yeah.
People to just spin up their own clones of OpenSea. Just that never factored into my expectation. Did it you?
No, I mean, I didn't predict it, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
in the sense if you had the dev chops to build a marketplace,
yeah,
you could be like, well, I just spin up my own token and airdrop it to all OpenSea users, and that's it. I'm done.
Yeah. So I guess it's to be determined whether or not this is an actual long-term strategy, as far as launching new protocols or projects or whatever like that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. From what we've seen from LooksRare and X2Y2, there's not a solid utility case for the token other than providing liquidity for the token itself.
Yeah.
And so that could be the Achilles heel.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Rarible in the past, they were actually the first ones to tokenize the marketplace experience, and they had very similar models. There was an emission every week or 2 weeks, dependent on the buying and sales volume, right? And it was being distributed to the community. Very good concept. It makes sense. It's a good incentive model to get people to participate in the ecosystem, but same thing. They kind of lacked that token utility, an actual purpose behind the token. So to kind of incentivize more locking or holding of a token as opposed to selling it on the open market, right? So yeah, it's true. I think these marketplaces are definitely going to have to expand their tokenomics. I think a little bit.
Yeah,
beyond
for sure.
This point, if they're gonna last, because a lot of them only have 2-year emission rates. After 2 years.
Yeah, all the tokens are unlocked to the team.
Yeah.
They're unlocked to everybody who's, I guess, working on the project. I mean, so
and the whole supply.
The supply too. Yeah, the whole supply is unlocked in 2 years.
In 2 years. So, you guys, the clock's ticking. You got 2 years to figure out, how to create a sustainable.
That's plenty of time. That's 4 years in crypto space.
That's true. Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so there's another. Obviously, we've been talking about this competitor too, X2Y2. So they created this thread that really summarizes what they're doing, and ultimately they're comparing themselves to LooksRare here, right? So our main weapon against OpenSea currently is X2Y2 airdrop for all OpenSea users, right? No signature errors, NFT not displaying. I think they talk about LooksRare in here, don't they?
I think they're talking more about actually.
There was one where they were directly attacking LooksRare, right?
Maybe, but I think this is them explaining. I think they had issues with their own airdrop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think too much happened for them at once, and there are some issues. So I think this is just them explaining the fallout from that. But but of course, you're right, because this is the new player in town. So LooksRare already siphoned a large portion of the network effect from OpenSea. Now it's these guys' objective to siphon that network effect away from LooksRare and bring it on for themselves. So yeah, dude, there's definitely clone wars going on right now.
For sure.
I doubt this is going to be the last OpenSea airdrops. If you guys listened to us a year or two ago whenever we made that OpenSea video,
this is the one.
You're welcome, dude.
Yeah.
You're getting all these hot and spicy airdrops. You know what I mean?
It says OpenSea has a monopoly of over 90% of all NFT transactions. That's a huge burden for a single actor. Lately, this has shown to be a huge issue for us, the NFT community. Downtime, centralization, censorship, and corporate greed. It says we're not the first, however. The OpenDAO, LooksRare, as a promising challengers emerged. With a fully working marketplace, Looks made the groundwork for challenging OpenSea monopoly, attracting people through trade mining to at least try out their product. Leaving aside LooksRare initial success, there are some severe problems deep at its root. So they're going head-to-head against LooksRare.
Yeah.
It says they're focusing on whales but not people, lack of transparency, and wash trading. And so marketed by NFTs, by NFT people for NFT people, LooksRare had chosen 20% of OpenSea's nearly 900,000 trading users with more than 3 ETH in transactions.
I guess that's what they mean by targeting whales.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess over 3 ETH is a whale.
I guess that's 20% of the user base as opposed to 80% of the normie population who spent less than that, you know.
Damn, that's 900,000 users. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, so 3.3% of Looks tokens were allocated to so-called strategic investors at a non-public price. Because of LooksRare with trading, the honest users are betrayed by the Looks whales. So now think, well, it's still better than sticking to OpenSea, but guess what? The day the Looks whales leave will be when most often investors get dumped. So,
so this is, I think
So now they're comparing themselves. They don't have a private sale. There's no wash trading. It's fair tokenomics.
Yeah.
So they have a staking reward. 65% of their tokens is just for the rewards. 12% was airdrop. Deployment team is 10%. Treasury is 10%. Pre-sales 1.5. So this pre-sale is very specific to, it's called an ILO, an initial liquidity offering.
Yeah.
So basically they sold 1.5 tokens, 1.5% tokens, just to provide liquidity to the pool.
Yeah.
And then liquidity management. So, essentially, we're building the decentralized NFT marketplace we all deserve, by the people, for the people. That's our mission, our journey, and promise to you.
Well, some very, again, very raw, and trying to galvanize that community support again. That and reinforce that narrative. OpenSea is the big bad wolf in the room, just like in the metaverse sector, Facebook Meta is the big bad wolf in the room. We're all collectively working to topple it at all costs,
Yeah, it's true.
It's kind of like, so if either you're aligned in this sentiment or you're not one of us, fuck you, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, it's powerful,
Yeah, and ultimately, what's the great takeaway in this video is we all wanted OpenSea to drop a token. They won't. They don't. They will not, probably.
Most likely not, yeah.
And so they're going to take the traditional route, probably do an IPO or whatever it is.
Most likely, yeah.
But we have X2, Y2, we have LooksRare, and they each have their respective tokens, and they just have a different way of executing their tokenomics.
Yeah.
Right. One's, I guess, more focused on whales, and one's more focused on just the general population. So I guess, pick your bets, pick your horses on this race here, and do your own research.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, these could be rug pulls. I mean, I haven't seen a single face associated to any of these guys.
No, very true. I mean, yeah, especially this one, we're not calling it a rug pull. It just feels so new that the potential could be there, but maybe not.
When they launch? January 2022, so last month.
Yeah, very, very new project. So, of course, always, be diligent and don't trust anybody. Definitely, they claim to be the more transparent project. So, I mean, definitely seek out that transparency. If they're not out there doing AMAs or Discord calls or whatever the fuck regularly, they're not truly transparent.
Yeah.
They need to dox themselves pretty much. If you're not doxing yourself in this Web3 space, so the rug pull of potential's there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's always lurking. But one thing we haven't looked at is the price of these tokens. So let's take a quick peek, dude. Because I'm sure that's what most people want to know. Maybe you don't like NFTs that much, right? You don't like the look of them. They look stupid to you. That's believable. But maybe you like to speculate on cryptocurrencies. That's cool too. So that's one of the things. Maybe you think these platforms are onto something. This is the future of NFT marketplaces, a much more decentralized approach. now you got tokens to kind of speculate on, you know? Wow, look at that. Up 90% in one day.
Nice.
Yeah. So, can we look at the 7-day chart? Like,
well, they don't have a market cap here.
No, dude. They got 159 in trading volume, though. Well, that's pretty impressive, considering they're airdropping tokens and the price is going up, you know? That's pretty cool. Good for them.
Okay, so...
and there's another one,
LooksRare.
So this one's a little older, but
yeah.
It's been around for probably like a month now. $500 million, dude.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
Not bad at all. Kind of makes you wonder what OpenSea's token would be valued at, but we'll never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like a little sell pressure happening. But again, like this is very expected because of the tokenomics, right? Just constant flooding of supply of tokens.
That's right.
Should depress the price over time, right? Unless they figure out some solid, good token utility, right? That's my
I mean that's really the biggest takeaway is like if you don't have a utility for your token, I mean this is what happens. Like eventually it just depresses.
Yeah, I mean
you're
asking your community to just take money off their own table, right? Like
same thing happened to Rarible.
Yeah, Rarible, yeah. To the point where like their DAO, we made I think our last video was about Rarible. Like they cut off that emission. The DAO voted to do that. I think probably in recognition of the fact that there's just not enough token utility to support like this bleed. You know what I mean? Well, that's not to say like it's over for Rarible. I think Rarible's doing great stuff, like it's, as a protocol at this point. So there's definitely potential for a value resurgence, you know. But it's getting interesting, man. This NFT space, it's starting to evolve into finally like a little bit more than just like this PFP mania. Now, like maybe there's something else to talk about besides that.
But think about this. LooksRare does the same thing as Rarible does.
Yeah.
The exact same thing.
Yeah, but Rarible did an airdrop to, you know.
Well, they did an airdrop, but they didn't do it to all OpenSea holders. And so you're looking at a difference between a 10x between Rarible and LooksRare. Yeah. So I'm thinking LooksRare is going to go closer to Rarible rather than Rarible being closer to LooksRare.
Could be right.
So that's my guess. I mean, because there's not a whole lot of value being generated other than the fact that you're getting a token, right, based on that.
But well, as we saw, like from that Coinbase tweet, the volume as of today is like Trump is destroying OpenSea's volume. So if that can maintain,
same thing happened to Rarible though. When they launched, they were dominating for like a degree. Yeah. And then all of a sudden the DAO votes to stop that emissions token.
Well, after like a slow bleed, I guess, in volume and in price and a lot of factors, I'm sure. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it can just trickle down into great nothingness at the end of the day, potentially.
I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm betting that's likely to happen with LooksRare.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate and say like this might be a sushi type of event.
That's true.
Like sushi really over leveraged.
It's true.
Like really leveraged their vampiric
But sushi
attack.
Invented something new here.
It's true. Yeah, but
they're the ones who did the like huge APYs.
Yeah, LooksRare has a little bit of that. I think there's like a
but
contract.
They didn't bring it to
it's
like
definitely not like they didn't invent anything. You're right.
Yeah,
like, there's no innovation yet.
Yeah,
but that's not to say like these people aren't capable.
For sure.
You know, so yeah.
But this is an interesting topic, though. Like,
yeah. What do they do from here? Like,
yeah,
we got to keep our eyes on this for sure, because there's a lot of reasons to, and it's like now the pressure's on for these guys because you know they've created a name for themselves. Everybody's watching them. Everyone's using them apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, what's going to make them, you know?
Yeah, stick around.
Yeah, in the long run,
the staying power.
Yeah,
All right, guys. That's been LooksRare, X2Y2, OpenSea, and Rarible. Let us know what you think. Are you using LooksRare over OpenSea? Are you using X2Y2? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner and also at MetaZone.io. And appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.